I mean, that's number one, but I think those kind of big categories of things, I think those are the things that we put in the description just as a general point, rather than the nuts and bolts detail that there's a lot of that stuff that's in there right now. I think we want someone to read it and get a feel for what we really want them to be able to do. They get the fact that they're going to be the director of a parks district and that there's going to be lots of nuts and bolts to do, I'm sure. It's the bigger picture, like, well, wait, they want me to be able to raise money. Oh, because that's unusual. They want me to be a project manager. Well, that also might be unusual because in bigger districts, there are project managers that get hired, right? So I think having these kind of bubble to the top in my mind feels like the right direction to take. I don't know.
The last part of that, Matt, about interpersonal skills. I bet you I've been on 20 hiring committees, administrators, superintendents, you name it. And, it always comes back to the final discussion. And a lot of it is how they interact with other people. And Doug mentioned, he's got to meet with a variety of different individuals at different times. And for me personally, when I look at a person who's going to be in any kind of administrative position, yeah, you're right, Matt. I think a lot of people can check off boxes. I know how to do this. I know how to do this. But then it usually comes back to, how do you relate to other people? How do you work within a group? You get angry people coming through the door. They're upset about something. How do you deal with that? So that for me would be my input on the highest priority, or one of the priorities in the job description itself. And that might be history. It might be how they approach a situation. I read Allison Taper, I think, had one that was pretty extensive. I don't really like it quite that long, but the premise was, how do you handle kind of a tricky situation? Which I know Doug has encountered over and over again. So that, for what it's worth, I just think how we write that in there, and how we look at that as being so very important. You can call it the face of the district if you want, or interpersonal skills, how you communicate, how you react in situations, being, I think, of utmost importance.
Have any of the other commissioners been approached by anyone from the community to ask about how we're handling this, what our process will be, what we're looking for?
Yes.
Yeah, I have, by the foundation leadership.
And Jake, you said yes?
No, I have not yet.
Eric?
I said yes. Yeah, I've been
other than the one you shared, other than Patton? Who talked to Patton?
That wasn't me.
Rich
Oh, that-
Patton?
The principal.
Oh,
John
Yeah.
Patton. Okay. It actually came up in my real estate sales meeting this morning during good of the order. My
course.
brokers would know.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I've
Well,
had chirping from the community asking, hey, you know, this director position, have you heard? What's the requirement? I even had somebody send me a text this morning and said he's interested in the job. So I think the word's out there. If
So
that's what you're asking. Yeah.
specifically what came up in the meeting this morning was they're well aware that we are in a growth trajectory. And the big thing that came up was how high on the list is someone, how high on the list is the aquatic center? Someone who knows how to build it and maintain it. That was high on the list. They want to make sure that the inroads that we've made, that continues. It was during the good of the order, during my sales meeting. I kept the conversation brief, but that's what they want to know. Is someone going to be able to carry this through? And I know that we have the aquatics foundation and that we're feeling pretty solid in that, but we need someone with those interpersonal skills and someone who is going to integrate into the community and have buy-in from the aquatics foundation that there is good leadership for that partnership. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a good point.
Another
Right.
element Jennifer, you make me think of is that the stepping stone, you know, somebody who comes in and they apply for the job, but they're really not vested in the community. Really what they're doing is applying for a job when they really don't want to live here. They'd like to live somewhere else. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that kind of play out. And it's hard. I'm not saying you word it such, but just being aware of it. Is the person vested? You know, are they wanting to come? They don't have to be a South Whidbey resident, but is there, you know, their desire to move forward with the pool and all the comp plans more than a short-term investment?
So Eric, I'm glad you brought that up. And when I'm interviewing brokers, we have to get to the why. And you're absolutely right. Why do they want this position? I've seen it in some of our local government positions over the past several years that yes, we were absolutely a stepping stone. And the imprint that they left on our community wasn't necessarily positive. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and I think
Well,
to me that you had that document at the beginning that talked about like the interview process and the sequence. I think that's another aspect of this is us figuring out how to do that in a way that gets to all those points that you've just raised. Like, how do we make sure that the person's going to be a good fit with the key stakeholders, with the school, with the foundation, with the staff, with the county, with the state? Like, we got to design our our interview process, our screening process around those key attributes, because you can read resumes all day long, but you gotta figure out if this person's going to be the right fit for the angry person, like you're saying, Eric, coming in because the picnic shelter reservation got lost, or because the too many people on the fields, or whatever. Are they going to be an asset to the community? I mean, to the staff and to the district. So yeah, so I think that's part B of this to me, is shaping that interview process, to make sure that we get the right fit.
Well, and do we want to list, kind of back on my the first thing I was talking about, do we want to talk about us and say how many thousand people live here, but that it still feels like everyone knows everybody's name, and just create South Whidbey in a paragraph, and then
Yeah.
create what we currently manage in a sentence, or in a couple of sentences. And I think the pool is, I'm throwing it out there, is probably number one on our list. We could list a couple things that we're hoping to achieve over the next couple of years, just so they know what they're getting into before they even submit an application.
Are you talking about that as like an incentive? Like, I mean, when I
Not
heard
an
you saying that,
incentive, like in our executive director job application, I feel like it could be nice to have like an about us, like who we are,
Yeah.
what the staff size is. I don't think we need to list our budget or anything like that, but how many thousands of people live in our district, but it still feels like everyone knows one another. Just letting someone know if they're going to apply from Seattle or a larger municipality that we are a very small operating district. Just give them some numbers and then say that, one of our hopes and goals for the next couple of years is the pool and or campground and or so on and so forth.
yeah. No, I mean, I like that idea. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I as a business owner and somebody who hires people, I have to admit I side with Doug on this. You'd be shocked by how many people apply for jobs and who do not even bother looking at your website.
Yeah, Jake, I think you've got some good points, Jake, in that we want to be inviting and share a bit about ourselves. But I got to say too, I don't hire staff and I don't hire brokers who don't even know who Windermere is. If they haven't been to the Windermere website overall, if they haven't been to my island website, if they don't even know who my management team is.
Yeah.
So I think there's a part of being inviting and saying, hey, this is who we are, but they gotta be engaged.
Um,
Yeah, and I like I said, I've been thinking about it, but since you said it, Jake. To me, there's part of it that is, we want to encourage people to apply, I would say. So maybe it's just spun that way. Like, this is a fantastic place to live, a very engaged community. It's beautiful. It's quiet. It's, blah, 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 whatever we, yeah. Jen, you probably have reams of perfect sentences to tell us how beautiful it is here. Like that, to me, just as a way, just as an enticement, not as a substitute for research. Like we want, yeah, when I sit down for an interview with somebody, they better know more about the district than a just random person I see at the Goose, right? So, yeah, I think there's balance. Maybe it's just something like a recruiting tool, because we want to get applicants rather than,
Oh, absolutely.
right.
And they can find our comprehensive plan.
um,
They,
okay.
if they're interested, they can find all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just lazy.
Mhm. Okay. So, all right. And I want to keep an eye on time, and I would like us to talk a little bit about the timeline, the hiring timeline. I think in terms of interview questions, I don't think we necessarily have to go through them today, right? We don't. I think that's something that we can think about and work on, okay? Because we're not starting this week, so so I think we have a little bit on that, but I would like us to review that timeline, that process timeline. Yeah, although just time out before we get there, and I wanted to say, like, Doug, I appreciate that you said that you would, like, take notes and change the document, but I also understand, like, you're on your own timeline. I'm happy to take that task and work on it, especially since we want to work in a small paragraph about the district. So again, as secretary, I think this is my role, right? And so I'll take care of that, so you don't have to do that, Doug, and this is off your plate. And then I will, share this, of course, with everybody, before getting final. But two things with this. First of all, when we do get this amended, we're going to want to put this back up on the websites where you've already posted it. Okay. I'm guessing they need some sort of special login or something like that. Could you make sure that Carrie can post this stuff for us? Okay. Yeah, it'll probably be next week by the time I circle back around to everybody. But I just want to make sure that we can get them in those places, because it sounds like that's where the professional community that we do want to reach is looking. Correct? Okay. Okay. Great. Great. And we will, respond to them and also give them our next draft. So make sure that they're cool with that. Okay,
so
so
specifically, we're talking about the NRPA and the WRPA sites, correct? Okay, thank you.
uh, okay. And I just want to make sure that I have our top pieces. Okay. So we talked about just administration, overall administration of the district. 2, face of the community, the relationships, also extremely important, project management and development. Do
Mhm.
I have that right?
Yeah, from my perspective, yep.
I agree.
Okay. Okay. So I will keep that in mind while I reorder and rejigger this document. And again, I will come up with a working draft for us, okay, and get this out to each of you. And I will also take it to the staff and have them review it as well. And with the goal of having a revised job description early to mid next week. Early next week.
So Krista,
Yeah.
earlier this afternoon or later this afternoon when I was speaking with Carrie, one of the things that we brainstormed and I want some input on, I think the easiest way to get your documents out to us for review, getting resumes to us for review, the easiest way to post documents around is if she were to create files for us, just like she does when she distributes the agenda. Having to comb through countless emails and email conversations looking for a document is tedious at best. If we just have a hyperlink to go to with a list of the documents that and resumes we're currently working on, feels like the best way to go. She was going to confirm whether or not she felt that that way was secure enough, or if she needed to create a Dropbox or SharePoint or OneDrive, something like that. What is everyone's thoughts?
Terrific. Okay. 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 Yeah. No. Yeah. Great. Okay, so I'll reach out to Carrie tomorrow and see what she and talk about this and okay. Cool.
All right,
All right.
Jake,
Now,
Jake, any further
can you
comments?
guys-
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Matt.
well, just catch me up on, I apologize for losing track of it. So where have we advertised, or if we have, and where have we advertised the position so far? Okay. Okay, then yeah, part B of the question was, one, when Krista, you've got the updated and everybody's approved and kind of blessed it, then what's the sequence or what's the process for us? Because it'll probably be, Doug, you'll probably be on the road. So what's the process for us to go in and update that? Do you have access to that, Krista? Okay, are we good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We all got north, south around the Yeah, okay.
Yes. Okay.
And now, is there any other place we want to go with that? Is there any other place to post that? Do we want to post it on LinkedIn, Monster, those kind of places? Not saying we do, I'm just tossing it out there. Just anybody.
I yeah. Yeah, I think if someone's rose the ranks, so they're looking for a park director job, they've heard about NRPA and WRPA, and that's where I'd be looking.
Okay.
All right. Anything else from anyone?
Yeah. So do you want to take a look at the hiring timeline quickly? And Doug, would you please? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And just to chime in on that, I'm completely okay with that. I appreciate that. I am meeting out right now, so absolutely fine.
Okay. I would just say that since we're going to be getting a revised job description out there next week, we can still do a review on the 17th, but I think I would like to give it another week, maybe to the 24th, before doing like a full review and narrowing it down to 8 candidates. I think I just, again, try to give a little more time to see if we
Mhm.
get any more.
Agree.
And I like the idea of post till filled. I mean,
Yeah.
way better to get the right person and to hurry at it.
How do you see the reviewing of resumes and ranking working? I mean, in terms of actually doing that.
I'll jump in here as someone who's done hiring by committee, to use a little bit of vernacular. We individually review the resumes, we rank our candidates, along with some comments about why we ranked them the way we did, what we like the best, what we like the least, and then we have another special meeting.
Yeah, I get that. I understand that part. I meant physically.
Okay.
Like, is this documents that we are going to be in a meeting with, or that we're all privy to via accessing a file?
Yeah, so that's what Chris is going to follow up with Carrie on, is whether that is a hyperlink back to the website like we use for the agenda, or if she's going to set up a special OneDrive or SharePoint or Dropbox for us to put all of the resumes and the various documents that we're looking at, so that we're not having to comb through emails and inadvertently doing anything we shouldn't do.
That's what I meant.
So yes, a repository for everything that we can all access.
Got it.
Cool. Thank you, Eric.
Okay. All right. Terrific.
Do we know, just random question, I haven't seen the paper in the last issue or two. Is this in the paper, going in the paper? Does the paper know about this? Is it coming up in the paper? Should we get in the paper?
It was Saturday.
Got it. Okay. That was in this past Saturdays.
Mm-hmm. Under a ridiculous headline, but yes, there it was.
It's a Parks District collapsing.
Something about Parks director finds off-island job. Was
Oh, great.
What?
Okay.
You made it sound like Doug was escaping. Is that what you mean?
yeah.
I haven't seen it. So.
No, that's not what it said in the newspaper.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, one other thing, February 24th, review resumes and rank, and I get that, but normally we come, and other committees I've been on, you come back together to talk about that, as opposed to just, adding up the rankings. And maybe I'm off base here, but it would seem like after February 24th, we would gather again and maybe discuss. Virtual, I would assume would work fine.
Mhm.
All right, so for clarity, for the reviewing of resumes and ranking, we would want to do an executive session, which is not open to the public, correct?
And if I'm looking at the timeline on that, we're already beyond our regular Wednesday board meeting.
Okay. And is there anything that says any of these meetings have to happen on a Monday to Friday? Okay.
and we're already rolling into February. So as soon as maybe you and Doug, Jennifer talk about this, for me, my February is filling up rather quickly. So I'd like to know ahead of time, like what we're kind of tentatively planning, post review and ranking. Would it be possible then, thinking about that upcoming week, maybe tentatively per your, what you find out about the public meeting, February 28th, Tuesday? We could do it same kind of time frame that we're doing right now. I'm just throwing it out there so we kind of have something on the books that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. I am available on Tuesday, the 28th, and again, at about this same time.
Works for me.
I can make that work.
I'm here.
Okay.
You're talking outside of this ED process as far as like district, okay. Okay.
May I make the suggestion of instead of it being one person, how about two? To have kind of a committee. That's unfortunately, I will not be at our next board meeting. I'm very sorry. I'm really sorry I'm missing this one. But yeah, my 2 cents is instead of just one person, because we all have a great deal going on, having two, plus I know that if I am that person, or I would probably be reaching out to another board member anyway and saying, hey, what do you think of this? Like, I think just having kind of two people to kind of check in and talk it over, I think might be really helpful. That's again, my opinion. But I also will say even though I am not there, you can sign me up for whatever you want to sign me up for. Okay. Exactly.
All
That
right.
would,
So
that would
how about
leave
we-
3. So,
And another possibility, like if there are certain kinds of questions, perhaps we look at our existing committee assignments, because those are all broken up into pairs. So that might, give a little direction, a little idea for that. And also within those committee assignments, there are some committees that quite frankly, like are not really in use right now. So, again, maybe you during the meeting, you look at all of that and kind of figure out who, maybe even to break this up. Like, so when there are financial questions, they go to this committee, and when they're up, in any case, just something to think about.
And to that point, I was just going to say I've already sat down with Carrie, and so from the financial standpoint, it'll be me.
Thank you, Doug, thank you for your service and all that you've done for this district over the last 10 years. And thank you for, offering to be something of a resource for us going forward. Really, thank you so much.
Very generous, and it's definitely much appreciated.
I told Doug this before, but he's educated me well, and I appreciate the time he puts into things. So, Doug, you are greatly appreciated. On a separate note, the liaison, since I'm not helping on the hiring committees. I mean, I'm helping. I'm not interviewing. I would be willing to be a co-liaison with someone in the interim, and I'm generally close in proximity and in connection with Sky and Carrie on certain things that might come up that way. Matt's got the financials. I can do the other piece of that with someone else. If someone else, please. I think the co-idea is a great idea.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, definitely ponder on that, and then we can firm it up in our board meeting.
Yeah.
All right. I love your idea about the committee as dropping back to committees as well. But I think it would be, yeah. Anyway, we'll flesh it out more. I think we've got some excellent ideas. I'm glad the two of you have volunteered to keep that rolling, and that's wonderful. Okay. All right. Doug, I have to give you my little pat on the back in that your availability and your willingness to talk things through, help educate, revisit and revisit has certainly been very, very helpful. There is no doubt in my mind that you have had passion for this position for these 10 years, and that you definitely do care deeply. And I think you're leaving our district in a better position than you found it. And so thank you.
Wish you well in your endeavors in Moses Lake.
Yeah.
So we got to do this all again.
Can't get too sappy too soon.
No, you do. You do. You do.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see on the RCO review board. It is a long drive to Olympia from Moses Lake. You're right.
Okay.
Thank you, Jen, for organizing this. Thanks, Krista, for the good inspiration. This is really valuable.
Mhm.
All right. This board workshop meeting is adjourned at 6:23. Thank you.
This conference is no longer.
You guys